Just like Minecraft has seasons, some days are bright and peaceful, others are full of creepers and chaos. Life is kind of the same, and that's okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Pixelplum, and today, while we are basically decorating our furnace or our tavern today, I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind: change, and basically how we go through seasons in life that don't always make sense when we're in them. So today's video is going to be a very chatty one. We're going to be decorating in creative mode, trying to come up with designs to use. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. So go ahead, grab yourself some snacks, grab yourselves a blanket, or just listen to me in the background. But today you will definitely learn something, and this is something that I've spoken about on the channel before, but just in case there's somebody that comes across the channel and you're new, I wanted you to hear it from me again. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright, so today's plan is to actually furnish this build right here, and I'm also going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a showcase of something that I've been working on off camera. So before we go into this building here, I think I want to go ahead and show you guys what I've been working on off camera, and it might come as a little bit of a shock to you guys, the amount of work that I did off camera, and I apologize, but it was just one of those days where I did want to just jump onto Minecraft and I did want to just play the game. I ended up doing a whole lot, maybe way too much, but I ended up making this hobbit hole village. And I did this with the help of an awesome mod called Axiom. Axiom is a world editor mod that allows you to be creative, unlock and unleash your creativity. Now, it did take me a long time to learn how to do some of these things, and I am still not a professional at Axiom, but I was able to learn as much as I needed to in order to get this hobbit hole down. Now, I built this one by myself, and then I duplicated it using Axiom. So this, what you're looking at right now, is the duplicated version. This is the original, and this right here is the duplicate. I basically duplicated this house from this one here, and I think I'm going to be moving in to this section right here. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is I am going to remove the windows from this side of the build here, and I'm just going to keep the second floor of the windows, and I'm going to remove the windows in the top here, or I really don't know like what I want to do. All I know is I want to decorate this build here. Now, the downstairs here, as you guys know, is my huge storage area, right? I have an absolutely awesome idea for a section of this storage room, or a section of this build rather, and I am thinking of maybe having it on the bottom floor here, and then using the top floor as the tavern. So up there would be the tavern. I still, like, I honestly just do not know like what it is exactly that I'm trying to achieve, but I'm looking at this image right now, and it just gave me so many wonderful, beautiful ideas. So I kind of wanted to do that, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I really just want to do something here with you guys today, and we can kind of talk about a lot of things. Sometimes it feels like everyone else is moving faster, that everyone is getting jobs while I'm struggling to get a job. People are hitting milestones, having kids, being the perfect adult. You know, moments like this make me feel like I'm left behind and unsure of my direction. For instance, when I was in college, I remember seeing my friends hitting these amazing milestones, getting their first jobs and starting their families and stuff. And I remember thinking to myself, why not me? Why are all these things happening to everybody else, but not me? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? What is my purpose? Do I even have a purpose? These were some of the questions that I was asking myself as I was, going through life. Kept looking at everybody hitting these milestones and making these big accomplishments. And then there I was. It just felt like life for me was at a standstill. It was just stagnant. And it took me a while, a long while, before I realized that it's okay to be in a quiet season. Because growth was still happening for me underground. I was not seeing the progress that I was making because I was so busy focused on everyone else. I was so busy focused on what other people had accomplished for themselves without realizing that it was me growing. I was growing. And growth still happens underground, like roots stretching out before you even see the flower. I have a rose bush on my porch right now, and I keep looking at it. I can see the little buds for where the roses are gonna come out. And every day I water it and I look at it and I'm just like, when are you guys gonna open? Are you even growing, or are you at a stagnant phase? Little do I know that this plant is growing happily. I'm just not seeing it. And that is a really good example of life. In life, we tend to look at everybody else progressing and we feel lost and we feel left behind and we feel like we should be at the pace that they're on. We keep procrastinating. We keep looking at everybody else and wondering, how is it that they're moving faster than me? But if you look at how popcorn pops, you will realize that it is a really good example of life. You put all the popcorn in the pot at the exact same time, but do you realize that they don't all pop off at the same time? There's a season where there's one popcorn in that pot just waiting to be popped. And it's just hearing that pop, 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 pop. It's just seeing everybody else pop off. And then eventually, it pops. Sometimes we need to be put under a lot of pressure for us to see a breakthrough. And when life feels like the world is on us, when it feels as though everything is so heavy, don't stop. Because when you stop, you have just blocked a blessing. When it feels like the world is getting heavy, when it feels like you are being beaten and pounded on, that's the universe working in you. That's God working. That is life working out for you. Sometimes you have to be put under a lot of pressure for the great things to happen. So when you feel as if you are being pressured, or when you feel as if you're about to blow up, you're about to explode, you can't take any more, trust me, your breakthrough is right around the corner. So do not give up, because it is important that you get to the end. Not all progress is visible. Life is like Minecraft. Sometimes you spend hours mining before you find a single diamond. But all the digging that you did, that's progress. All that digging that you did. Sometimes we're doing things and we are not seeing the progress, and we're thinking, oh my God, I spent so much time writing this book and I'm just not getting there. Or I spent so much time, recording these videos and I'm not getting there. The fact that you get up every day to record your video, the fact that you get up every day to exercise is progress. You might be exercising for an entire week and not seeing anything. That right there is progress. Some of your most important growth happens when it looks like nothing is happening. Maybe you're just healing. Maybe you're learning how to be alone, or maybe you're figuring out what you don't want. That is still growth. Like, for instance, working on YouTube helped me to discover what kind of content I really enjoy. And it took me a long time to figure that out too. When I started my YouTube channel, I wanted to hop into a genre. I was like, okay, Minecraft. I love playing Minecraft. I love public speaking. Why not make a Minecraft channel? But then I had to think. I watched and consumed hundreds and thousands of Minecraft videos because I wanted to see what was my niche. And one of the things that I realized is that not much people create Minecraft videos for adults. Not much people have content for adults. A lot of people tend to just have this content where they're excited and there's the drama. But I wanted to talk while playing a game. I love talking. I've been told that I could make podcasts, or I've been told that I have a great voice for, speaking in public, which I do love speaking in public. And putting these two things that I love together was progress for me. I found my niche, playing Minecraft and giving life advice. I might not be the best life advice person out there, but I'm pretty sure that I've helped somebody somewhere in one of these videos. Now, there comes a point where we have to let go of timelines. We all have these mental timelines, right? Like by 25, I should have this figured out. Like by 25, I want to have a job. I want to be stable in my job. By 27, I should have kids. By 30, I should be married. We all have these mental timelines. So you're just like, I should have this figured out, or I should be more successful by this time. But those timelines are imaginary, bro. Real life doesn't care about. Do you think life gives a shit about the fact that when you were 15, you planned that you wanted to get married at 27 or 28 or even 22? Do you think life gives a shit about that? It doesn't. And honestly, that's freeing. It is freeing when you remember that just because you have a plan doesn't mean that that's the plan life has for you. It's freeing. It allows you to let go of these imaginary plans that you have. There's nothing wrong with planning your life out. But the universe already knows the path that your life is gonna go on. So you can be selective and you can plan stuff and you can be like, oh my God, tomorrow I'm gonna do this. Tomorrow I'm gonna do this. Next week I'm gonna do this. And the universe is just like, oh baby, you can plan all you want. You can set aside all you want. You can be like, okay, I'm setting aside $500 for a rainy day. And you think, okay, nothing's gonna come by, and then bam, something happens. Maybe your mom gets sick. Maybe you get sick. And then there goes that money that you were saving up for a rainy day. There's nothing wrong with planning. But the kind of planning that a lot of us spend our time doing is just unnecessary, because we always end up changing our plans. There's these planners that exist. And yes, it's nice to have planners. And yes, I am a planner person. And yes, I have a bunch of planners. I have digital planners. I have planners, physical form planners. I have planners. I love planners. I'm sorry, Alexa is just being a bitch. But one of the things that I've noticed is that with my planners, things just never go to plan. The only things that seem to go to plan are set appointments with doctors, or university stuff. These things are set in motion for me. But it always seems like the little things that I have planned out, the little things that I tell myself, oh, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that in between this time, just never works out. Something always just happens to come up. And I always end up with a planner with unchecked items. Nobody on this planet can say they have a planner that they have planned and they've done every single thing in their planner every single day without fail for an entire year. There's no one on this damn planet that can say, on Sunday, I'm going to go walk the dog, and then Sunday came and they walked the dog. Or let's say, for instance, they had a whole day planned out and that entire day went perfectly. There's no one on earth that can say that for an entire year, everything that they planned went according to plan. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about a time when I was in the most difficult situation. And this is not something that I normally talk about on the channel, but I'm going to talk about it anyways, because I feel like in order for me to tell you about this seasons come and go thing, I really need to talk about this specific part of my channel, of my life, basically. There was a point where when I came to London, I was broke. When there was a point where I ran out of money and I was really broke and I couldn't even afford to pay my university thing. I couldn't afford to do it. And I was crying every single day, every single night, but I was still going out on dates. Strange, right? Yeah, I was alone in London and I didn't have my family here. I was the only one by myself. I had my university dorm paid in full, so I was still living in my university dorm. But when it comes to like companionship and just being able to eat the next day, I was struggling, and I didn't want to admit it. And I didn't want to go back home because in my country it was already as hard as it could possibly be for me. So I did not want to go home. And I remember praying to God, and I remember asking God, please help me. Please don't embarrass me. Please don't let me go back home. Please don't let me. I kept crying. I remember this one friend told me, hey, why don't you go on a date with someone? And I thought, this girl is crazy. I'm just like, I'm going through a shit situation right now. What could a date possibly do for me? She was like, oh, there's this cool app called Hinge and you should download it. So I was like, okay. I download Hinge, and on the first night, this guy messaged me. And I can't remember exactly how that conversation was because that was 5 years ago. He messaged me and he was like, hey, would you want to meet up? I was like, sure. We met up the next day. We had a date. We went to this Chinese restaurant. And I remember his first comment once he ate a spoonful of the rice. He said, this rice is so dry. And I just started cracking up. I just started laughing. And then I remember looking at him and just saying, I'm going to get married to this guy. And it was crazy. I looked at him and I said, I like this guy. I want this guy. I'm going to get married to this guy. This guy is mine. This guy is mine. That's my fiance. So I remember he would come over to my dorm and I would put on this brave face. I didn't tell him about what was going on in my life. I was scared to tell him because we were building such a great relationship. And then I was facing being sent back to my country because I couldn't afford to pay my university things. And one night I just could not take it anymore. I just started crying. I called my mom called and we had a conversation, and my mom was so worried, and she was just like, if the worst case is you'll have to come back home. And I was crying, weeping, big tears because I did not want to go back home. And he came over that night and he saw me crying. He saw me in my most vulnerable state and he asked me, well, hey, what's going on? And I didn't want to tell him, but something in my heart was like, you can tell him. This is somebody that you can trust. And I told him. And it was in that moment of me telling him this that he was just like, okay, you know what? I'll try to help you. So we went through this whole process of him trying to help me out. Him trying to be a guarantor for me, him trying to, help me to get a loan so that I could pay the money to the university. I remember having to leave my dorm to get a refund of the money that was already paid on the dorm and moving in with him. I remember crying every night for an entire 6 months. Every night he was sitting up with me in bed, and I would just cry and I would just weep and weep and weep and weep and weep. And now today I have come out of that situation stronger because where I am is 100% a better place than where I was 5 years ago. That moment of my life happened and I am stronger today because of it. So if you're feeling like nothing's working out or you're falling behind, you're not. You're just in a different season. Just trust it and keep building, even if it's one block at a time. I honestly just wanted to share a little bit of how much I have changed. And I feel like change is something that we all are afraid of. We come out into the life and we think, I'm afraid of this change. What's gonna happen if everything changes? Some change is really, really good. And sometimes the change that's happening in our life is because it needs to happen. Sometimes we have to just let life, we just have to let it be. And when we start to accept that there are certain things in our lives that we cannot change, it becomes a little bit easier to go through life. In that moment of my life, I felt lost. I felt alone. I felt afraid. I didn't know what my future was going to be like. And in that moment, we made a decision, because in that moment, we realized how much we needed each other and how much we did not want to be away from each other. So we made the decision to enter into a civil partnership. I entered that civil partnership with him in 2020. And then in 2021, we moved into our first flat. A flat that we are paying a mortgage for, a flat that we can say is ours. And then in the beginning of 2021, after we moved into our flat at the end of 2020, I was given pre-settled status here in the UK. And that was my breakthrough. And every day I thank God for the opportunities that he's presented. I thank God for sending the person that he sent into my life at that time when I felt like nothing was happening. Where at that time I felt like everything that I was praying for was just falling on my head. Little did I know that behind the scenes things were working in my favor. Even if it wasn't what I was praying for, it was what I needed. I didn't need the money. I needed comfort. I needed friendship. I needed support. That was what I needed. And that was what God gave me. God gave me a companion. God gave me friendship. God gave me support, love, understanding, kindness, peace, serenity, calm. God gave me so many things in that moment. I prayed for money, and God gave me so many other blessings that I just completely forgot about money. I forgot about what I prayed for because I was blessed with so many of the things that I needed. God knew I was broken, and God knew that money was not going to fix that piece of me that needed to be whole. And so instead of giving me what I was praying for, he gave me what I needed. And that's why I'm at a place right now where I am secure in myself and I am confident in the change that has happened in my life. And I know now that it was for a greater good. So today's message is for anybody that is going through a time in their life where they feel like the world is falling away under your feet. What you're praying for is not what you need. Trust me. You're praying for something and you think, okay, this is going to fix my problem, but just let the universe work. And all the things will be added onto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added onto you. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for coming by and checking out my channel. If this message resonated with you in any kind of way, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell. Remember, over here, we give inspiration and we breathe life into each other. We are kind, we are loving, we listen, and we don't judge. And as always, I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
you.